ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। ॐ समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ॐ नमस्ते अस्तु भगवन् विश्वेश्वराय महादेवाय त्र्यम्बकाय त्रिपुरान्तकाय त्रिकाग्निकालाय कालाग्निरुद्राय नीलकण्ठाय मृत्युञ्जयाय सर्वेश्वराय सदाशिवाय श्रीमन्महादेवाय नमः। Hari Om, salutations to all. So Nirvana Shatkam, 6 verses Shankaracharya ji wrote, describing our true nature as the self, our true nature as pure consciousness. In the first shloka, we saw how the subtle body is negated in the first line, 5 senses, and mind, intellect, memory, ego. Second line negates the 5 elements, the very cause of these, and asserts that my true nature is pure consciousness, my true nature is bliss, Chidananda Rupa, Shivoham, Shivoham. Now the second shloka, when we see, so what is Nirvana actually, or what is liberation? It is not going somewhere. It is not that one will get it after death. It is not death itself. Many people think the word Nirvana means the person died. Because one of the usages of that word is that. One of the meanings people think is that. So Nirvana actually is the state of the self. It is not becoming something. It is not going somewhere. It is not even to be the servant of Bhagavan. In the deepest sense, Nirvana means to realize essential oneness with the truth. So each of these verses are meant to destroy the ignorance and the false identification, which is the only barrier between us and our true self, that is consciousness. So the second verse negates the gross body and the pranas. So let me just share here. Nacha prana sannyo navai panchavayuhu. So I am not the prana or the combination of the pranas, which is panchavayuhu. Then nava saptadhatuhu. I am not the 7 ingredients of the body. Nava panchakosha, not 5 sheets. Navak pani padam nachopastha payu. I am not the 5 senses of action. The speech, the hands, the feet, the evacuating and reproductive organ. Then who am I? Chidananda Rupa, Shivoham, Shivoham. So nacha prana sangnyo. I am not the prana. Many times we mistake life or consciousness to be same. So when we say somebody is alive, there is prana shakti in that person, the person is breathing. So one thinks that is consciousness. That is only expression of consciousness in terms of sentiency. Prana is not equal to consciousness. Prana is vital energy, which is energy of Bhagwan, energy of consciousness only, but it is that which energizes this matter to function, which by itself doesn't have its power. It derives the power from consciousness. So prana is by itself inert. There's a difference between prana and consciousness that we have to understand. We are not the breath that we take in. We are not the five physiological functions that are happening in the body. We are aware of all these. And so prana is by itself inert. Prana goes in, comes out, prana changes. Consciousness is the changeless witness of it. Prana doesn't know anything that is happening because it is inert. So it will go in, it will come out, body will function, but it does not know anything specifically that this is the body, this is what is happening. That awareness is not there. It is the mind which manages all that. So prana goes in, comes out, it prana changes. Prana is dependent on the self. Prana doesn't know emotions also. Prana has no emotions actually. Emotions are the realm of the mind. Prana gets affected by those. When we have fear, when we have anxiety, when we are peaceful. So prana gets affected by the mind, and if we control the prana, mind will also get controlled. So there is a connection between prana, the body, and the mind. So prana is that which connects the body to the mind. And that's how we can wake up every day after dreaming in the same body. Because the karma ensures that the body is connected with the mind through this prana. And as long as karma is there, prana remains in the body. Otherwise, imagine a balloon which has 9 holes. It will not, the air will not remain in that, it will escape from the holes. This body has 9 holes. And how is it that this body is able to function? Because karma ensures that prana is there connecting the body and the mind, and the functioning is happening. And karma is able to ensure that because there is karma phaladata, who is Bhagwan himself. So nacha prana sanjyo, I am not the pranas. The state of prana can be different. Prana is not air, prana is not oxygen, prana is there in every element, 5 elements: space, air, fire, water, earth. And so we need all the 5 to keep this body healthy. So it is one of the, no doubt, a very vital aspect of the body as well as the mind, but it is not consciousness. So that's why it says nacha prana samnyo. I am not the prana. We have been observing the breath. We observe the physiological system. Those are the panchavayuhu. Prana, that what we take in, apana, what we throw out. Vyana is the circulation. Udana is all the creative processes, reverse processes. And samana is absorption. So prana, the 5 pranas, they will do these physiological functions in the body. And some of these functions may be fine in our body, some of these may not be fine. The states of the body and the prana will keep changing. Nacha prana samnyo, navai panchavayuhu, nava sapta dhatuhu. I am not the 7 ingredients of the body. Tvag, mamsa, medha, rakta, pala, charma, asthi. These are 7. So the skin, the blood, the bone, the marrows, the flesh, the fat, all these become this. They are the 7 elements of the body. You put all these 7 together, prana is there, mind is there, consciousness enlivens it, then this functions. If we remove each of these separately, we will not like any one of them by itself. Think about it. If seven different containers are there, in which in one there is skin, in one there is blood, and then one there is fat, and then one is marrow, there is flesh, there are bones. If those seven are given to us separately, will we have any fascination for them? They will stink. They'll create a sense of abhorrence in us. But when they have been put together, now we are thinking, oh, I am this. And there's so much attachment to this. But by itself, I am not this. Nava sapta dhatu. So he says this. This, if we understand very clearly, it will give more and more vairagya to us. Because our identification with this body is very strong. So even visualizes that this whole body disintegrated and made into seven uh, containers with ingredients separated. That is what the body is. It's a good tool to do sadhana, but Gurudev used to say it is mobile manure. It is just mobile manure. Food that we eat, before it goes into the body, it is not me. After it comes out of the body, it is not me. While it is in the body, how can it be me? It's just food. Body is a byproduct of that food. There's seven elements, seven aspects of this. So Nava Sapta Dhatur. I am not these seven items. Bhagavan has packaged this body very beautifully, so it does not uh, look very disgusting by itself. But little bit of the skin, if it is peeled, then we see what is inside, and there will not be any fascination. Mentally, if we just peel away one layer of the skin, seven layers are there. Even if one layer of the skin is removed, and one visualizes this is the body, one will not have any fascination for it. Even without peeling, the body looks very amazing as far as one is young. One is a child, one is teenager, one is young. As one starts growing old, the same body one feels abhorrent. What is this? One likes to hide the natural states of the body, of old age, of disease, of decay. So, Nava Sapta Dhatu, I am not this. This is not some form of denial mode. This is the factual negation. Ki I am not the body. Body is a tool I have. Nava Sapta Dhatu. Nava Pancha Kosha. I am not the five koshas. So, kosha means a covering. Pancha Kosha means the five layers or five sheets which are covering the self. Like a sword is there in the scabbard covers the sword and you take it out from it. Like that, the five sheets, they cover apparently they cover the Atma, like how the clouds cover the sun. They really don't cover, but when we look at it from the earth, then it looks as though the cloud has covered the sun. Same way, these five koshas. What are the five koshas? Annamaya kosha is the physical body. Pranamaya, what we just spoke, five pranas. Manomaya is the seat of emotions. Vijnanamaya is the seat of intellect or thoughts, rationality. Anandamaya is the bliss sheet which we experience when we enjoy some sense pleasure or in the state of deep sleep. So, five sheets. These are also again states of body, prana, mind, intellect. We are witness of all these. These sheets we are not aware of in the state of deep sleep. Some of them we are not aware of even in dream. but we still exist. So now, na va pancha kosha. I am not the five koshas. Navak pani padam nachopastha payuhu. These are five senses of action. So I am not the five senses of knowledge. It was said in the first shloka. Now five senses of action. We may use these to respond to the world. Through senses of knowledge, we gain the knowledge. Through senses of action, we respond. But I am not these. See, we define ourselves by all these only. What powerful speech this person has, and your power of oratory, and wow, this person can impress so well. And so many achievements happen through that. Or how the hands are, and how slender the feet are, and how long it is, and it goes on. So we define ourselves through the body, through the five senses of knowledge, five senses of action, through the shape, through the form, through the color. Vedanta says none of these are we. Navak pani padam nachopastha payuhu. See, they have a utility value, no doubt. We can use them. But even if some of them are not there, we still exist. The, let us say, the ability to speak, if it is not there. Sometimes the hand movements, or sometimes the hands themselves, the organs only are not there. Hands or feet, we still exist. So the idea here is they are a means to respond. They have a utility value, no doubt. Navak pani padam nachopastha payu. Evacuating organ, reproductive organ. How much of our mind revels in the enjoyments in these senses? So the senses of knowledge, senses of action, they are for a specific reason. They are given. We can gain knowledge, we can respond to the world, we can serve the society, we can purify the mind. But we are not these. We are not limited by these. The more we disassociate with these, we will ensure that we do take care of these, but we do not define ourselves by the conditions of these. We do not feel any lesser or greater by the conditions of these. The mind may feel good, the mind may feel bad if it identifies with this. We are not the mind itself, that was said in the first shloka. So, when one understands this, lot of the false notions we have about ourselves, how we define ourselves, all that disappears. Then we are able to be aware that I am the absolute truth. Chidananda Rupa, Shivoham, Shivoham. So three lines of negation, negating pranas, negating the gross body, negating the senses of action. The senses of action meaning the capabilities, as well as when we negate the body, then the organs also get negated. That I am not these. We don't have to hurt the senses, hurt the body or the pranas. We have to only destroy the false identification. Body and the mind and the pranas, they don't have to be destroyed. And hence, three lines of negating the false identification, one line of assertion of the truth. Chidananda Rupa, Shivoham, Shivoham. Now, in a quiet mind, when we chant these words, when we chant the shloka, then what happens? What we send in deep into this mind, it will undo many of the conditionings that we have. And if there is a certain clarity behind that, the head and the heart have to come together in contemplation. Gurudev used to say it is thoughtful love and loving thoughts. When they come together, that state is called contemplation. So it is not some intellectual information, and it is not some emotional experience or emotional seeking. It is the head and the heart coming together. A special faculty is born that is called intuition. That intuition is what is the third eye. That intuition is what makes us realize the self. And so let the words just sink in. If you may feel a difference, wonderful. If you don't worry. As one practices for a certain period of time, we don't even have to actually do a lot of explanation. When we say Nacha Prana Sanyam, those words they go in and we just say, I am not the pranas, the five pranas. Panchavayu, I am not the prana, I am not the Panchavayu. That sentence is enough. We don't have to give further commentary on it actually. Initially, we do some little more explanation and we also contemplate a little more deeper with some explanation, but otherwise just the words have to go in a quiet mind. Just drop the words. You know how you see in a clear bucket of water, a coin, if you drop it will go straight down and it will settle down there. Same way the mind, when it is pure, these words we put in and the meaning which we already know, we lift the mind to that state, saying, I am not this, I am not this, I am not this, then I am Chidananda Rupa. So that's what has to be done in contemplation. Association of ideas not required. If the mind needs a form, then hold on to Nirakar if you want to, or even Sakar, whichever one you are familiar with. Form of Shivji or Linga. Linga and Omkar are Sagun Nirakar, form is Sagun Sakar. Or not required of anything to hold on, just contemplate quietly. So, holding on to the words and the idea it connects to, the state it points to, and no other association of ideas. Suppose one says, I think my prana sharira is little weak now. Last few days, I have not got enough rest or I have not done enough exercise. So my prana is little weak. No need to think any of that. If the mind goes into any of that, come back. Nacha prana samyam. I am not the pranas. Same way, five senses of action, five koshas. If suppose one says, I am not able to remember, Swamiji said five koshas, Annamaya, Pranamaya, then which are the other two? And then one I remember Anandamaya. These two things in between I forgot. No need, no such association, thinking, nothing. The state is I am not the finite equipment. That's the main point. So this is how one contemplates. Now what we will do, see, we have been going from form to the formless. Different steps we have seen. Today and the next few days, we will do still further simplification. Few steps initially to quieten the body and the breath, and then go straight into the contemplation. Mantra chanting, we may not do next 4 days. We will do after the breath observation, contemplation. Invocation, we will of course do, invoke the Guru and Bhagwan, and then we come straight to contemplation. So more time we can spend in that contemplation.